Mike's going to talk to us about Facebook again because he loves them so much and he wants to do things to them when the lights are off. Anyway, that's today's Not So Critical Up.
I do love Facebook. No, Facebook is ridiculous. I don't go on Facebook anymore. I still have my account. Yes, Peter, for a page that I manage. Don't go on Facebook at all anymore. So this story is kind of ridiculous for a couple reasons. One, the title is Facebook suffers a big setback from the street. And in building up to the big setback, they talk about the hits that they've taken in regulation, in antitrust, the Francis Hagen revelations. But the thing that they're reporting as the setback is this ruling from the Securities and Exchange Commission. The agency recently ruled that Meta must give investors an opportunity to consider and vote on shareholder proposals that vote on shareholder proposal that questions the social license to operate an emerging technology in the metaverse without fully understanding the potential risks and negative impacts. So what does that mean?
Yeah. So first of all, what's a social license? Second of all, is the positive and negative impacts, or just negative, because they're always going to be negative impacts. Is that like to humankind, to the world, or is it financial?
Yeah, so I think this framing is ridiculous. The article clarifies, the ruling clears the way for investors to further understand the potential psychological and human rights risks of the metaverse and weigh in on whether Meta should be pumping $10 billion a year into the emerging technology when they are so clearly failing to manage the risks on their core platforms. This article would have us believe that the primary concern of Facebook investors is the psychological and human rights risks of the platform. We've been invested in this platform all along, okay with everything, continuing to push our money into it, but now I'm worried about the psychological and human risks associated with the metaverse.
Why do they need why do they need permission to do this in the first place?
Well, it sounds like it might be an in for the stakeholders to do something else. I don't know what. I don't know. But this might be the angle that they're taking to get more control, to get a say, to do something.
It's a Securities and Exchange Commission ruling. So I think what it's coming down to is the shareholders are saying Facebook is not using our money the way we want. They're spending $10 billion on this thing that we're concerned about. I think the real reason they're concerned is about whether it's going to be successful and they're going to get that money back.
Exactly.
Under the guise of, what about the children? So what the shareholders want is the opportunity to get in the way of Zuck continuing to dump money into this thing that they're not sure is going anywhere.
Which, yeah, I mean, it seems just so bonkers, really. I have a genuine question, though. Like, was it that shareholders couldn't object before if the investment was likely to make money? If, like, financially on paper it looked like it was going to make money, and there was just no other recourse?
I think it has to do with what the company is obligated to disclose or not, or to put up for shareholder feedback. Some decisions the company makes may require shareholder feedback, others don't, so they just go ahead and do it. And I think the ruling was specifically around just like what those borders are in this case.
Okay, so what a weird world that has to be explicitly made clear.
Well, any blow Facebook gets to the metaverse is a good one.
Yeah.
Any setback against Facebook getting
any setback that Facebook gets is a good one.
Is good.
Any blow to Facebook is a good one. I think that's.
But specifically with the metaverse, like there are not a lot of good companies out there that could run this ethically. Maybe none.
Yeah.
What's that? They're going to make money from it. So what are you talking about ethically? Who cares? I don't understand the language.
Good wrap around there. I wish that we could see a metaverse that is fair and available. I would love to live in this metaverse.
Just like real life.
But like better.
I
was having a conversation with some friends. I was having a conversation with friends about how the limit we have in the physical world is, or we're so limited here. What you get in the metaverse or some sort of virtual reality that is fully encompassing, like it's so limitless, it's crazy. And the last company I want to control that world is Facebook and Mark.
I think you just convinced me that it's going to be successful, though. Because the message is going to be...
Yeah.
Look at all the successful people in the real world. World leaders, titans of industry, living the big life. You can be that successful if you just pay me $50 a month and do it in the metaverse.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's going to be successful because there is nothing. There is nothing. It's 100% hype. It is the Theranos of virtual reality at the moment. There is
at the moment.
It's going to be a bunch of people standing in a virtual room looking at each other.
The building has not been built even.
Right.
We are not even on the ground floor of what can be. Okay, biggest mistake Mark made was jumping the gun on declaring and announcing metaverse this, metaverse that, and changing the name to Meta.
Well, they did
but
that
he had to distract from Francis Hagen.
Yeah.
Right.
He was distracting, right? The whole fucking... the fact that they had,
but this is totally a catch-22, and they're too early. Virtual reality is in its infancy. It sucks. It will suck for 10, 20 more years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
First mover advantage.
Well, there is things like you can get the Quest or the Valve, whatever. I forget what the Steam one is.
I love the Quest. I think it's amazing. I have so much fun playing Beat Saber and
Facebook shill.
Yeah. I know. I totally hypocrite there. But I still do love it. And it's still very limited. It's got the processing power of like a mobile phone, if that. Right. It's down to the innovation of the actual game makers, really.
Is there another game than Beat Saber?
Oh, good question. Yeah, there are some. Half-Life Alyx is really good, but you have to hook it up via a cable and stuff. And that's where you have your laptop actually running the hardware. With a cable, it kind of gets a bit and it's kind of, but it's amazing, and it's genuinely scary as well to play the game like that. But it's a fact, and it's that little barrier to entry that means it won't ever really properly take off. But the Quest itself, as a hands-free device, very limited.
Yeah.
Ultimately, and that's like, did you guys ever get into Second Life? You ever?
No.
Back in the day.
Oh my god, it's just like an open world. You create an avatar, you can walk around, build a house, interact with other people, and there were a certain number of people who were really into it, and they built huge communities, and it still exists, still around. And Linden Labs or whoever it was that they made a big fuss about it, and it was kind of revolutionary. But there was a hard limit on what you could actually do with this technology, and once you reach that limit, kind of like, okay, not actually as exciting as we hoped it would be. It feels like it's, there's so much potential, but really there isn't. I feel like that's what the metaverse is going to be. It's just going to be another kind of open world that you can walk around. Maybe better graphics.
Well, what I hope for is the replacement of screens and
how
instead, well, through obviously either depends on how sci-fi you want to go, but through a headset, through glasses.
Is so far away. The Quest is basically the best headset for consumer grade that you can get at the moment. It's amazing, and I do not understand how it works. It's basically magic to me, which frustrates me because everything else I can kind of figure out how it works from basic principles. But the VR headset, no idea. Like when I look around and there's zero lag, like looking, I'm just like, this is weird. But I still have to go and charge it up, and it lasts for like an hour, and I have to plug this thing on my head, and it gets a bit sweaty, and the lenses fog up, and I wear glasses, so I actually ordered some special lenses, or I have to wear my glasses, and they're kind of clunky, they don't fit in, and it's a pain in the ass, really. It's
for now.
Yeah, for now. But I'm
using a PC in 1985 was a pain in the ass too.
Yeah, true. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's gonna. We're not seeing the same kind of rapid progression of hardware that we did with PC hardware. PC hardware was every 6 months, every year, you get something twice as fast than some big release. The Oculus has been out for years. This is the Oculus Quest 2.
Well, what's
better than the Quest 1?
What's it called? It's not a philosophy, it's a law. Moore's law?
Moore's law, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that's been invalidated now. Moore's law has been invalidated.
No, lots of times, but it roughly held true. The actual law is that the number of transistors on a piece of silicon is going to double every 6 months.
But they can't even double it anymore because of the physics limitations on sizes that were down to 7 nanometers or whatever, and like that's pretty much a hard cap from a physics standpoint.
Right, Moore's law technically has not held true, but the rough performance increase has held true.
Right,
and we are seeing more and more powerful computers in different ways. You know, GPUs and more amount of RAM and SD drives and all that. So the overall kind of like experience of how powerful their computer is getting up. But power requirements aren't going down. It's still something you have to have on your desk with a fan on it usually. It might be a bit smaller now, but I just, we're not seeing the same kind of increase in virtual reality hardware. And I don't see it. When I first got my Quest, I was very excited. And then I realized it was 4 years old, and then, or 2 years old. And now it's a year later and I'm still nothing, big announcement on Metaverse.
I think we'll see. I'm still going to hold true to I think it was actually a prediction that actually mixed reality will be the next paradigm shift, not full dive virtual reality. So both of you will not be wearing the glasses you're wearing now. You'll be wearing $400, $500 glasses that are linked to your phone, and you'll probably be able to straight up work from them.
I hope
Google
so.
Glass.
No, not like Google Trash, who were also way ahead of their time.
We've lost the thread though. The important thing.
Oh, that's right.
Is fuck Facebook.